Hi, my name is Chengye, and this is my working process presentation. My project is about nostalgia and intergeneration communications and generation gap. So let's first have a brief introduction of the background and what's the generation gap, the definitions. First, the generation gap is the differences between individuals from various generations of life. With the popularity of network, which information is manufactured and disseminated, people of all ages and social classes can communicate across the kind of barriers, and each person's version is getting broader and have a stronger self. And so as the result, fresh ideas will collide with the old one, and the generation gap will be formed. Culture, history, and social system all influence the type, extent, and the breadth of the generation gap. And generation gap is not a reflection of social disease in general, but rather a progressive social phenomenon that has occurred all the time. Generation gap is not only an old problem with historical significance, but also a new international problem with contemporary significance. As the generation gap continues to appear and expand, there have been frictions and contradictions between generations. And here is my research questions. How to use nostalgia culture and design simple and connotations to redesign and make them vibrant and attractive again, so that establish common topics between the generations and eliminate the generation gap to reduce the contradiction and frictions brought by the generation gap and improve the communication environment. And the research aims of this project is to explore how to use nostalgia to encourage the young generations to learn more about their elders, and at the same time encourage the elders to be more proactive to telling their own experience and stories, so as to strengthen and improve the communications with each other and reduce the negative effects of the generation gap. We have many creative practitioners and some from some companies and add traditional and nostalgia elements to their packagings or logos or their products, or just using the very classic um, meaningful color palettes in their branding, and to attract customers and enhance the product's acceptance and inclusions. And next, I will talk about the methodologies and methods I use for this project. And the methodologies I use for this project is comparative and cross-cultural research. And my project need to do some in-depth study of people of different ages groups to distinguish between people of different background on what they are interested in, acceptance of certain things, and likes and dislikes tendency. Also, the research need fit the methodologies of cooperative cross-cultural studies very well, and observed in the process of studies required to participate in the study. At the same time, a detailed study of what is actual happening in the communities, which is what I want. A study that is in content with the real life. Cross-cultural research is acceptable because each region in China has its own set of traditions and cultural norms. So, through cross-cultural research, we can understand how the costume and the culture of each region affect the generation gap between individuals of different ages. And about methods, I choose interview, questionnaire survey, and observation and photography with three methods. The interview method involved the direct oral contact between the researchers and the interviewee. It can produce more realistic data by researchers trying to promote openness. Respondents can relax, lower their guard, and share what they actually think. In the interview process, the researchers determined the structures and the location of the interview in advance and could flexibly manage the content, time, and order of the questions, successfully avoid the influences of the environment, and enabling the interviewees to answer the questions objectively. When conducting large-scale investigation, questionnaire surveys can be used effectively, and the basic will and actions of the respondents can be inferred from the questionnaire, regardless of whether the researchers participate in the survey or how much the respondents participate. The result of the questionnaire survey method can be directly quantified thanks to the availability of the large number of appropriate statistical analysis packages that can help individuals analyze the data. The third kind of method is observations and photography that can provide the most direct first-hand knowledge of analysis, which is more effective than information obtained from other sources. It is superior to other methods of collecting nonverbal behavior data, allowing face-to-face conversations and providing explanations in physical language and eliminating distortions caused by secondary processing. These are some photos and pictures collected from the last centuries as well as the household necessities, and which can help me to have more comprehensive understanding of people from different background and provide inspirations for my design. There's drafts and sketches of my design outcome. It's about an applications pages. After I have so many researchers about the nostalgia and generation gaps, that I found that the influences of the nostalgia themes on different group of people varies greatly, and for the people who can identify the familiar nostalgic elements, the impact of the nostalgia on them is huge. But for the people who do not know the content at all, it has little effects. And also, the generation gap is not only cause or family communication problem. Other possible causes and factors that cause communication problems, those fractions should be investigated more comprehensively, and the acceptance of the same thing by the different people cannot be generalized. And for the next step, first I need to refine the final products, the applications, that application, and add more details and some illustrations. And second, the conducts user uh, testing to improve the application experience using experiences, and also the third one, design more supported products to enrich the content. Thank you.